Well, here we're giving it another try. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. I don't know what happened. Everything went haywire and I got plucked off. Now I'm back on, so I don't know. I couldn't find where that previous post came on, but I appreciate everybody showing up for the live stream. And always remember, if I get kicked out, I will try to come back in. I don't know what the problem was, but I'm late because I had to do a couple of screen grabs. And it's about time he got there. How you doing, B-Dog? We'll see who all gets in the chats tonight. And who got faked out by the short video. I don't even know if it went on the air. I have no idea. But anyway, and Trump, they put a gag order on him. I've got a video about that. And I've also got a video of Ted Nugent, what he's got to say to Barack, Hussein Obama. So, yeah, it's pretty rough. I don't know if I get in trouble for putting it up there or not, but I will. My thumbnail says aloha means goodbye. There's Joe. I got a clip of him. Let me see you all showing up tonight. Everybody, B-Dog, Doc Honeycutt. How you doing? Donna, Angel. It's nice to see everybody. Karen, Canis Cleanup, how are you? Melinda, Kim, Leisha, Damon. Hi, Wanda, Nikki. How are you doing, Nikki? Leisha, hi, Robin. Nice to see you. Sherry, Jersey Joe. Hi, Debbie. Nice to see you all. So I'm glad everybody's able to make it in. And I don't know if the chats are going to block part of the screen. I'll try to keep stuff over to one side. We'll see how it goes. Let's see. Anyway, let me see. Here's Joe. He showed up. This is one clip I got. It's not the real good ones I want to play, but shows you how Joe, he's got to one-up everybody, right? He shows up and, if I know this stuff before Joe gets to Hawaii, they have to know it. Or the advanced staff isn't doing their job. I'll let Joe tell the story in a second, but I want to show you what I pulled up on True Social. Jack Posobiec put it up. Horrific. Quote, she faced a barricade. After running past officers, responders told her the area had been cleared and no one was there. When they were finally allowed to go to their house 2 days later, they found the body of their 14-year-old son hugging the family's DAD dog. So there you have many Lahaina wildfire victims may be children, Hawaiian governor says. 850 people. Hawaii officials said 850 people are still missing in the wake of the Maui wildfire. So there's heartbreaking stories like that. But here comes Joe. He gets on the stage. He's got his little wreath around his neck. I'll let him tell his story.
I was in Washington doing Meet the Press. It was a sunny Sunday. On a little lake, it's outside of our home, not a lake, a big pond, and hit a wire and came up underneath our home into the heating ducts, the air conditioning duct. To make a long story short, I almost lost my wife, my 67 Corvette, and my cat. But all kidding aside, I watched the firefighters, the way they responded. There's an old expression. I grew up right across the street from a fire hall in Claymont, Delaware.
Boy, this volume sucks. I tried to put it up 5 times. It still stinks. But I got other videos with good volume. So, but anyway, he's got to tell his story about how lightning struck his house and almost hurt his cat and almost caused him to lose his a Corvette, but everything turned out okay. Nobody wants to hear that crap, Joe. All right. But there he is down there anyway. So I had this up when I first came on, and then got kicked off. Meme for Joe, Mr. President, oh, gee, have a nice vacation. So what he's doing is an amount to pinch of owl poop. He's days late, and as far as Hawaii is concerned, dollars short, but not for Ukraine, right? Do you know they put the aid for Ukraine, they tied it in with any aid for Maui. So if you disagree with giving Ukraine more aid, you would have to vote against giving Maui aid. How do they do that? Hi, Lone Wolf. Hi, Georgia. Ingrid, how you doing? Debbie, Falafel. Yeah, he's a selfish PIG. You got that right. So, yeah, keep it soft. I can't stand to hear his slimy voice, Donna says. So, yeah, he is creepy listening to him. But I tell you, I didn't get a chance to get some screenshots. I'll go over tomorrow. But I had an interesting back and forth with somebody on Truth Social. Guess what? It's somebody who's a liberal, and they don't act nasty. But anyway, I'll get into that tomorrow. I had to get some screen grabs, but everybody's jumping up and down about this debate business. But the news that came out is that they're putting a gag order on Trump, which we'll get to, and I've got a pretty good video on that where I am doing my customary lawyer bashing. Okay. I don't even consider them lawyers. I think we've got a big kludge of too many lawyers that get in there with their woke degrees, and I really don't think they should be practicing law. I don't think they are capable of dealing with our legal system in the manner which is intended. But anyway, I guess a lot of you may have seen this video where a guy came up and burned a Trump sign. Now, Tim Pool and Benny Johnson offer $5,000 each for information that leads to the conviction and arrest of this creepo. So that's pretty exciting. But you have two ends of the spectrum there. Tim Pool's a younger generation, traditionally more liberal in his themes and his attitudes. And you got Benny Johnson, who's much more conservative. But they're both down on this guy. And if I get a video clip of it, I'll play it next time. You can tell. I mean, he runs away like he's got a pants full of soy. It's very obvious where this guy's coming from. But hey, we'll talk about that. He had to be identified. You could see his face even in the nighttime because he came at 4:30 in the morning. I think that's the same time the truck showed up in Georgia. You know what I mean? The trucks with carts full of boxes. So that's when they like to operate. But anyway, let's see what we're going to get into here. Let's see if I get in trouble right off the bat. Now, let me just burn a little time. I'm going to talk about this storm that has arrived in California. And Devin Nunes retruthed something from Citizens Free Press. Devin Nunes says, next it needs an exorcism. And Citizens Free Press is showing Dodger Stadium flooded out. And on my earlier aborted broadcast, I discussed that a lot of the problems were going to be washout. Last night I talked about that. I've been around for some hurricanes and tropical storms, and when you got dry ground, it likes to run across that dry ground and wash that topsoil out. So that is a big concern. But when Biden got down to, I didn't get a chance to crop these, but few chance and middle fingers. I didn't get a video of that. I never would have got up tonight. I got up as late enough as it is, and I apologize for that. But anyway, so you already heard what Biden had to tell everybody. And I hate that I had to put up that picture and the story about that poor teenager who lost his own life and lost his pet. And the parents were trying to get to him, and they wouldn't help him. These officials need to resign, and there needs to be a criminal investigation for malfeasance. I mean, criminal malfeasance. You watch movies in the past, and maybe some of you have had it in your past at home. Rain barrels. You've seen that around many houses where you catch rain off the gutters. Or you had a cistern, and after you got a well, you kept the cistern on the property for backup water in case there's a problem. They're outlawing that stuff in all these blue psycho climate cult states. They're preventing people from access to or criminalizing people using natural resources. What are they going to do? Charge everybody each time they take a breath? So, it's getting bad, and we need to criminalize two things at least: the climate change cult and the, as Mr. T calls it, the trans insanity, especially with minors. So those are two things that we just can't tolerate as a society. Hi, Miss Mendersue. How are you? Hi, Marla. How you doing? Nice to see you. Kicking Bird. How you doing? Camperman. Gloria. M's here. That's good. So anyway, I don't like foul language in the videos I put up, but I do have one video where they tried to block a Mr. T motorcade. I'll play that for you here in a little bit. If you stick with me. But I talked about how none of the media outlets reported about Biden with his aliases. Well, it turns out, and we already knew this, but the general public is going to be finding out 6 Obama administration officials use aliases emails. Obama, Hillary, Holder, Lynch, Jackson, and Biden. So they were all playing little kids' games on the computer thinking everybody's going to be too stupid to spot them with what they're doing. But guess what? We caught them. We caught them all, don't we? We all know that, right? So, the Truth and Reconciliation Act is moving along. It's getting a slow start, but there is action there on the Truth and Reconciliation. So here's a video. I'll jump from subject to subject. I talk about Joe and Hawaii. I got a video of a Pepsi truck. Are the chats in the way of the videos or the memes, folks, or is the screen clear? Because I'll do it on this side of the screen for you guys. I'll go ahead and play it if it's in the way. What you see here is a Pepsi truck, and you see washout and heavy rains. Just what I was talking about was going to be a danger. So it's happening in Southern California, but it doesn't stop the Pepsi man.
It's actually going on our westbound lanes already now, too. There goes a Pepsi truck. That's our eastbound lanes on the Highway 58, right before Mojave, in between Mojave and Tehachapi. Now it's washing out onto the eastbound lanes, too.
Yeah, remember I was talking about cliffside homes were going to be risk, and that there was going to be a lot of washout of the topsoil, and that's exactly what you're seeing here. So anyway, the Pepsi man, he just said, well, I got stuff to deliver. And he kept on rolling. I'm not crazy about Pepsi, but anyway, I got to give props to the Pepsi man. He just kept on rolling. And a lot of people have heard about this. And it was a talk on CNN, too. I didn't. An attorney quit the other day, and 3 more have followed him. And also, the White House's main attorney resigned the other day. What do you think that means, folks? What do you think that means? That means it's getting hot in that kitchen. You know, they can't take the heat. They're getting out. And we're going to keep an eye on that and laugh while we do it. But, that's some hot potatoes going on there, because what happened with that plea agreement is exactly, I know, a pat on the back is 18 inches away from the kick in the pants. But I said that somebody was going to have a bell go off in their brain saying, hey, Epstein got a illegal plea deal, and he was 7 or 8 years walking on cloud 9 like he got away with it. When Trump came back in office, they jerked him right back into jail. And same with Ghislaine Maxwell. And I think everybody got wind of it. The same thing would have happened here with this Hunter Biden plea deal. So anyway, we're going to be finding out more and more about that. I've got some articles about that, but when we're talking about so many things at one time, here, I'll take a chance to put this meme up. Little memes like this. I put it in the middle of a article so it doesn't, it's not all by itself and it won't get picked up as quick, but you can see it. Coinciditis, okay? And that's my old cardiitis that coincidentally only affects certain people, right, folks? So get yourself a screenshot of that and share it, especially if you have friends that have exposed themselves. And we know that a new variant is coming and people are going to be asked to expose themselves to it again. But anyway, here's in my news feed was popping up what was happening in California. And I said, what in the world? So what's going on right now with the storm? I said, well, let me hurry up and get this. But it really wasn't any news. It was just these pictures you see and no real stories yet. But the guy in the middle there in that little rowboat, basically, little dinghy. I was thinking, what in the world would you be out there? What, did you lose a quarter? I mean, what's the problem here? But anyway, you see what's going on. And Dory, our friend Dory, she messaged us in one of the comments that she was going through a storm. So let's all cross our fingers for her and hope that she checks in with us and lets us know what's going on. Here's another quick meme I can't leave up very long that you all might want to get a screenshot of. That's it right there. If you got to come back to get a screenshot, it's at the 18, 25, 26, 27 mark. But yeah, let me get that off so I don't get in too much trouble. I put that up because I'm going to be putting up a video that's probably going to get me in trouble anyway. We'll have to wait and see. But I want to see what this Midas crap comes up with about this Trump gag order. And because they were getting desperate for stories. Here's one they put up they thought was a big story. Midas crap. Marjorie Taylor Greene did not get the welcome she thought she would at the Iowa Fair. And they've got a picture of some girl scratching her nose with her finger. That's what they think is like big news. You might get 10% of the liberals that are going to be civil anyway, so that they're scrounging around for stories. Let's just see what they come up with this Trump gag order. But speaking of which, let me see here. I wonder if I should go ahead and play this in the middle of the video. It is controversial, but I think I'll play it. Here we go. Did you see Ted Nugent with the young man named Kyle from that city in Wisconsin? Watch Kyle's face all the way, and maybe that'll keep me out of trouble. But anyway, watch Kyle's face while Ted Nugent is talking. I'll let him do the talking, okay? This is going to get me in trouble.
Barack Obama, you punk. You horrible anti-American, communist, Islamic terrorist. Well, that's going to go in the media. That's what he was. He literally reignited racism in America. Thanks a lot, Barack, and your buddy Mike, and your two fake daughters. And if I'm wrong, somebody show me a picture of Mike Obama pregnant. Show me a picture of Mike Obama pregnant, and show me the two daughters in their youth. Show me Mike and Barack snuggling their infants in swaddling clothes. Those pictures don't exist because his wife is Mike. Did you know that?
I did not.
And the daughters aren't theirs. Well, that's a conspiracy theory. Prove me wrong.
So, Ed's getting out, and Kyle's sitting there looking, what did I just walk into? And I don't know. He said he didn't know that about Big Mike, but we'll see. We'll see how that goes. I don't know. But anyway, I hope that played all right for y'all. And here we go. Good news on the lawfare front, folks. Right here. Remember I said Andy No got his case thrown out against the people that beat him? Well, there's a judge that's handling this case that knows what he's doing. Jack Posobiec reported, judge rules against Antifa. Defendants a new trial. Awards Andy No $300,000 in damages over Portland attack. And you see Andy No down there in a little circle where he's wiping the cement and milkshake off of himself. And there's some of the up-and-coming new leaders of our country. I don't know what they think they're going to be, but anyway, breaking. Judge rules against Antifa defendants in default. Awards Andy No $300,000 in damages over Portland attack. Each defendant has been ordered to pay No $100,000 in damages. So, that is a victory. Here, I put this up on my community page. If you all get a chance to go by there, you can go up, give me a thumbs up for this video. I appreciate it. It helps get the algorithm to show this to other people and helps me out. I appreciate it very much. So anyway, paint with your heart and you'll capture their true soul. So with this Truth and Reconciliation Act, I believe there's going to be a lot of people hearing things they've never heard before. Here's one about a poll. And this was, guess what? This is more evidence of the Truth and Reconciliation Act, folks. This is Morning Joe on MSNBC. When did you ever think you would hear this kind of talk about Mr. T? You know, Joe Scarborough is sweating bullets, especially with what Trump said about that intern.
with the Des Moines Register. These are the numbers here. This is the bottom line in terms of asking likely caucus goers who they would support right now. Trump is well ahead, more than 2-1, 42%. Ron DeSantis, the only challenger in double digits. He's at 19%. Tim Scott, just under 10%. You see Nikki Haley, Mike Pence, Chris Christie, go all the way down to Will Hurd at 1%. So Trump with that sizable lead here in Iowa. Looking inside the numbers a little bit, evangelical voters in particular. In 2016, remember, Donald Trump did not win evangelical voters in the Iowa caucuses in 2016. He didn't win the Iowa caucuses, in fact, in 2016. Ted Cruz did. But among evangelicals now in this poll, Trump is at 47%, nearly 50% of evangelicals backing Donald Trump. 2/3, roughly, of all Iowa caucus goers in 2016 identified as evangelicals. This is a huge voting bloc.
So he's showing that Trump is way ahead in Iowa, where he was even in 2016, and he's dominating. And they're reporting it on Morning Joe. It's, you know, it pukes about, but there's not a lot they can do about it. Ha ha ha. Anyway, here is a video that brags about this business of Trump's gag order. And this is a person who I imagine, with all the fluff and puff he's got around him, that he's an attorney. He had about, I don't know, I think it was about 80-some thousand views. But here he is, the first video I saw reporting on this business about Trump having a gag order, and I will be making some comments as it goes along.
So friends, at long last, a judge has finally placed a gag order on Donald Trump. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, let's talk about, I see a statue of Abe Lincoln holding the American flag and the Ukrainian flag. He'll also do a montage, and you'll see some of the friends he hangs out with. But anyway, let's let him keep going.
Because justice matters.
Robert Mueller, Eric Swalwell.
Hey all, Glenn Kirshner here. So friends, finally, a judge has placed a gag order on Donald Trump, prohibiting certain speech, certain posts, certain reposts. And this is in Donald Trump's RICO case in Georgia. The judge is Scott McAfee, and here is the substance.
We'll hold off for that in a minute. I just want to point out they always use pictures of Trump where he's on the golf course, he's been maybe hot and sweaty and things like that. They have no respect for the office, certainly no respect for Donald Trump, and no respect for the American people that support him. So that's why they do that type of stuff. But this RICO case, that he does not even address the points that every legal mind has pointed out, that it does not suffer from TDS, has pointed out, says that this state charges are inferior to the federal charges, just like Alvin Bragg. This is a rehash of Jack Smith's garbage. He brings none of that stuff up. And people take him as authority because of his law degree, and I think it's a abuse of the legal process for these attorneys to do these type of videos. I mentioned that in the past, but let him go on about his what this. I don't even know where this judge came from, Judge McAfee. I haven't heard that yet. Is that Herman Munster? I'm not sure, but anyway, let's let this guy keep talking.
State of Georgia versus Donald John Trump. Consent bond order for defendant Donald John Trump. The above captioned matter having come before the court for consideration of bond and with consent of counsel for the state of Georgia and for the defendant, the court hereby grants and orders that bond is set in this matter as follows. And the judge set a $200,000 bond. Whoop-de-doo. That's a legal term. That's obviously a pittance. Doesn't mean anything, but that's not the important part. The court order goes on. The defendant shall not violate the laws of this state, the laws of any other state, the laws of the United States of America, or any other local laws. The defendant shall appear in court as directed by the court. The defendant shall perform no act to intimidate any person known to him or her to be a co-defendant or witness in this case, or to otherwise obstruct the administration.
But not limited to the following. Yeah. Anyway, from the perspective of people who have a political philosophy that silence is violence. Okay, they throw those kind of terms and twisted nonsense at people with their lawfare and their novel interpretations of law. Uh, Trump can't win with these directives from the court, as you'll see, and it certainly excludes him, any rational person, from going to that debate that they're all trying to make him go to. But as far as the $200,000 bail, first of all, these charges are unlawful. It is prosecutorial misconduct that is not even broached by him. Donald Trump has a Secret Service accompaniment with him at all times. He's a former president of the United States. There's the fact that they would ask for a bond and then have the temerity, don't break any local laws. I tell you what. Well, anyway, let's let it keep going.
But is not limited to the following. The defendant shall make no direct or indirect threat of any nature against any co-defendant. The defendant shall make no direct or indirect threat of any nature against any witness, including but not limited to the individuals designated in the indictment as unindicted co-conspirators, individual 1 through individual 30. The defendant shall make no direct or indirect threat of any nature against any victim. The defendant shall make no direct or indirect threat of any nature against the community or to any property in the community. The above shall include, but are not limited to, posts on social media or reposts of posts made by another individual on social media.
You come after me, I'm coming after you. Oh yeah, they would construe that as a threat. I'm going to obliterate the deep state. They will construe that as a threat. Anything that he says, I'm going to stop gender insanity. They're going to take that as a threat. You watch. It is a overreaching, a violation of the First Amendment. But let's let it go.
The defendant shall not communicate in any way, directly or indirectly, about the facts of this case with any person known to him to be a co-defendant in this case, except through his or her counsel. And so, friends, with those conditions of release being put in place by the court, I have only 2 questions. How soon will Donald Trump violate the conditions of his release in his RICO case in Georgia? And 2, when he does, how will District Attorney Fani Willis react? What will she do?
She'll probably be defending herself against impeachment and possible prosecution for her conduct in this whole matter. And as far as I'm concerned, I'll reiterate it if I hadn't said it before. Again, people who hold law degrees and abuse that privilege the way you're abusing it right now, Kojak, okay, you should not be, in my opinion, permitted to practice law anymore. Anyway, let's go on with it.
Because I have to tell you, friends, I don't think D.A. Willis owns a pair of kid gloves. Stay tuned, friends, because justice matters.
And we're going to stay tuned.
Yeah. So anyway, so this character, as far as I'm concerned, all of these attorneys who are getting on here doing these videos, inciting people. He's tainting juries. He's causing a lot of problems and being involved in this lawfare garbage. No, these people don't need to have law degrees and don't need to be practicing law anymore. That's just my humble opinion, man. I've got these. Some of these things are staying on the screen. Barney Fife arrests the head of the most powerful military on earth. Hi, Jax, how are you doing? Wanda, I saw that you had some health problems, honey. I hope you're doing better and you hang in there. We're all pulling for you. So I did catch that out of the corner of my eye. So this character is celebrating the fact. Let me put him on the screen. This character here is celebrating the fact that Trump is not going to be able to speak. If you read those points, anything he says can be construed a threat to the community. What's that? Which community? The community of bureaucrats? The community of Marxists? So, don't you know? Wait a minute. Let me see if I can't pull that up. I got Trump's. Whoa, my screen's freezing up. Is my broadcast coming through okay, folks? I hope so. I'm having a little bit of a screen freeze here. Daggone it. It doesn't want to move around for me. But I'll just keep trying. Oh, I see what the problem is. Give me a second, folks. I'm going to try to move this. Here we go. Can you believe it? I'll be going to Atlanta, Georgia on Thursday to be arrested by a radical left district attorney. Wait a minute. Is that a threat? Is indirect or direct? Fannie Willis, who is overseeing one of the greatest murder and violent crime disasters in American history. My case. The trip to Atlanta is not for one murder, but for making a perfect phone call. She campaigned and is continuing to campaign and raise money on this witch hunt. This is in strict coordination with crooked Joe Biden's DOJ. It's all about capital letters, election interference. So it didn't take Mr. T long to belt out a response. And, of course, they're saying that 200,000 is peanuts and all this kind of garbage. But I'll tell you, there shouldn't be one penny. This whole case shouldn't even be happening because Fannie Willis has got the same standing Alvin Bragg had. It's a state charges, and they're inferior to federal charges, and she'll be sidelined just like Alvin Bragg was. And the federal case brought by Jack Smith is, if anything's going to be heard, it's going to be that. So, yeah, we'll see how this plays out. How many of these so-called attorneys pop their heads out of the woodwork? And we know from Newt Gingrich, if you all hung around last night to listen to what he said, how things went down at that courthouse, that is to get attention away from Hunter Biden. And here we have, my goodness, this thing does not want to cooperate with me tonight. Let me get that out of the way. Here we have DOJ said it would be career suicide to pull the trigger on Hunter's charges. So they put out a memorandum saying that they didn't want to charge Hunter because it would cause too much friction between the Department of Justice and the executive branch to whom they're supposed to serve and all this kind of garbage. So we'll see how that turns out. But they're all blowing this smoke and mirrors Trump's way, and they're playing with fire, I'm going to tell you that. But they said they were going to subpoena the old man. Where'd that article go? Here it is. They said they were going to subpoena the old man. Let me get that one up. Hunter's lawyer threatened to call Joe once it became apparent that U.S. Attorney David Weiss had enough evidence to charge Hunter Biden with a gun charge. The defense lawyers threatened the DOJ to call President Biden to the stand as a witness. Now, wait a minute. Is that the same bunch that just resigned? I don't know. They get a call at 2 o'clock in the morning asking if they got their insurance paid up on their house or who's going to pick their kids up from school. You know, that kind of a phone call. I don't know. So instead of reporting on things like that, you know, are these people making these late night phone calls that I just described? No. They say, well, what about Mark Meadows? They have been all here. Well, I want to put this up for you while I'm looking for an article. So I'm going to give you a little laugh, get a screenshot so you can put it on your social media somewhere. Hopefully you all checked out seniorsubway.com and put in promo code Mountain Man and you can join for free. I don't get anything from this promotion. I just give you all a site you can go to that is very strict about keeping bots and doxers and trolls off and putting up things that appeal to people who are mature. So anyway, you can join a political group there if you want to. But anyway, there's a nice little meme for you to share once you get on Senior Subway and start a Magadonian page if you want to. Start anything you want. But anyway, here's another one you could put on your social page. It can be on Facebook, whatever you want. Here's a bumper sticker for you. Ha ha ha. I'll make it bigger in a minute. Hi, Sharon Mercer. How are you? Just checking the chats. Yeah, hi, Margaret. Can't wait for the boomerang. That's right. I can't wait for it either. But unfortunately, we got to get some normies to wake up. I still have stuff showing on my screen that is long ago been taken down. I don't know what the story is on that, but oh boy, I'll have to figure out how to get that off there. But anyway, hopefully it's not interfering with the broadcast. So anyway, what do? They talk about my news feed gets an alert on the news feed. Here, I'll make this bigger so y'all can read it. There we go. You might want to put that on your social media. I don't know about that, Ian. I don't know. Garbage in, garbage out, right? I've had something in my studio for a while. I'm gonna wait for another broadcast to go over it. A little prediction I had, a little something I spotted. But anyway, what do they put in my news feed? Here we go. Meadows told, this is from ABC, today came across the line like big news. Meadows told special counsel he could not recall Trump ever declassing Mar-a-Lago's documents. So they're going back to the Mar-a-Lago thing, getting all the TDS freaks to go, yeah, we're going to get him on that too. Well, it says Mark Meadows has told investigators he could not recall President Trump ever ordering the declassification of broad sets of material before. Well, guess what? Nobody cares. It does not matter. For anybody who is listening that thinks there is one iota of a chance for him to get in trouble over those Mar-a-Lago documents, let me tell you the facts of the matter. The facts of the matter are the President of the United States, former presidents, still retain the highest clearance you can get in the federal government, okay? Classified documents that he has are copies. The military has their copies. The president is allowed to retain paperwork from his administration, and all he has to do is think to himself, I want to take this with me. That's been ruled on in the courts with the Clinton Sox case. He's the executive. This is a record of what happened during his administration, and it is entirely up to him, his sole prerogative. That's already been taken care of. And if you believe otherwise, you are believing a media that has been corrupted and is part of a illegal psychological warfare campaign. And mark my words, the way it is going to turn out. But, they got to throw this up right when Hunter Biden's attorneys are quitting. They were threatening to call Joe Biden. Declassification means the authorized change in the status of information from classified information to unclassified. Well, when Trump decided he wanted to take it with him, there you have it. Okay? And he can disseminate it to whoever he feels needs to know. There you have it. You cannot run a former president's foreign policy or any other thing, what he was doing through his term that belongs to him. The records belong to him, and copies are available from NARA elsewhere. And they don't have the authority. That's the bottom line. So anyway, so you heard that more. And if they do have the debate, well, here, I'll play this, what they were talking about, the debates. They were saying Trump was planning on, what do they call it? Trump plots counter-programming for GOP debate. When is that debate scheduled? He's turned himself in Thursday. I'm going to go ahead and play this video for you.
And yes, you're right. All indications that I'm getting from in that is that this is Donald Trump we're talking about. I've covered him for years, and his team tells me that there's always a small chance that he may decide in the 11th hour that he ultimately wants to go. Of course, there's logistical questions to whether he would even be able to do that, but most likely he will not be on that debate stage next week. And instead, Donald Trump himself has been personally throwing out ideas for counter-programming. There have been discussions between Donald Trump's team and Tucker Carlson about an interview around the same time on Wednesday. Of course, this all comes as Donald Trump is feuding openly with Fox News and Rupert Murdoch, and Tucker Carlson clearly has left Fox News. And so some motivations there, I think, behind the scenes. I'm also told that Donald Trump's team wants some of his surrogates to represent him at the debate, especially if he is not there. People like Byron Donalds, a congressman from Florida, as well as Matt Gaetz, another congressman from Florida, and Carrie Lake, the gubernatorial candidate in Arizona. All of these people potentially there to represent him in his absence. And one more thing, Poppy, that I find really interesting that I've been picking up in my conversations is that Donald Trump has been telling people, this week even, that there was a dinner last month where Fox News executives, the president Jay Wallace, as well as their chief executive Suzanne Scott, they traveled to Bedminster and encouraged Donald Trump to participate in the debate. And Trump personally is feeling like he's in a strong position not to attend.
Whatever she was babbling about, that he's going to have surrogates go in there and that he's going to have this counter programming to mess Fox up and mess their ratings up. Well, the bottom line is, with the kind of garbage that judge put out, nobody in their right mind would go to that debate, and people that are still trying to, quote, shame him into going, they're idiots, and let them keep trying. But here's how this media plays it. I didn't get a screenshot of the thumbnail, but this video that said Trump motorcade blocked in New York City from going to having their little parade, and this is right in front of Trump Tower. And you would think that there was this big uprising in New York to stop a Trump parade. But if you watch the video, there's only 3 people. Now, it's only 2 minutes long and there's some foul language, but that's the way these characters operate, okay? I can't, do a lot about that. So I apologize for the foul language. But when I looked at the thumbnail, you would have thought there was this huge crowd, anti-Trump crowd, stopping Trump supporters. You can see on the road in yellow letters that BLM is still painted out there in front of Trump Tower. But you watch and look, you might see 1 or 2 people standing beside him, but there's 3 only provocateurs. You would think there was an army out there the way they advertise it.
Fuck the Proud Boys and fuck these racist piece of shit. They come to our city thinking they can do whatever the fuck they want. Well, they fucking can't. No justice, no fucking peace.
Get locked up. Get the flag, bitch. Don't be an asshole. Get the fucking flag.
Notice how the cops came by and put the metal barricades up for 3 jerks. 2 of them are wearing masks. The one in the middle's got the big mouth, but they stop everything and put down these metal barricades for 3 jerks. They can't even handle that.
No justice, no peace. Fucking racist piece of shit. Fuck the Proud Boys. Fucking fuck the white suits!
They're terrorists. They have weapons in their vehicles. Disproportionate for one.
Video was 8 or 9 minutes long. I only got a couple of minutes out of it because it was all the same 3 creeps. Once in a while, you had somebody extra standing beside them, but and the cops did eventually make them move. But the cops at first put up that metal barricade and stopped the people. But they were already at Trump Tower, as you could see by that yellow BLM letters. So, no, they don't have jobs. And I guarantee you they're getting paid by gift cards that are untraceable. And you can go in and demand a refund and get cash for them. That's the way they've been doing it. We found that out from the Michigan bunch they busted, right? Now, I saw in the chat somebody asked something about doing a watch party. Trump and Tucker Carlson doing a watch party. That'd be funny. But I tell you what they've done with Mr. T, if he says something on Tucker Carlson's show that can be construed in a liberal, I don't want to say liberal, a woke mind, okay, or a Marxist mind can be construed to be a threat to the community or the co-conspirators, unindicted co-conspirators or indicted co-conspirators, it's really going to hinder his ability to say anything. So it is a huge overreach and a huge abuse of the First Amendment. But here's one of his co-conspirators right here. Put this out this morning, Rudy Giuliani. Beautiful, peaceful morning. So he's showing, and he deserves to have a beautiful, peaceful morning. I'll tell you that. He's going to go down in history as an American hero. But here he is. He's showing people his sheep and his cows, and he's at his farm enjoying himself. So that is his little signal to us that he's doing okay. So God bless him. But anyway, it's going to be hard for Trump to say anything around these freaks. And I suspect, like I said, when you have a political group that says silence is violence, that means if you say nothing, you can get in trouble in their minds. And if with this court order, if Trump says anything negative at all about these people, he supposedly could get in trouble. So what does that force people to do? It forces people to agree with their narrative. Okay, and it is not a narrative anymore. I'm not calling it a narrative anymore. It's a illegal psyop is what they're pulling on people. And they want Trump to play along with it. Good luck with them. Who is this creep right here, Bill Mitchell? Does anybody know? Now, the quote on top here, I trimmed it off. I didn't realize it. It said, in a world with a real legal system, this guy would be getting his eyeballs sued out of his head. That's a paraphrase. That's not exactly what was said. But he says Trump's heart issues. It is rumored Trump is struggling with congestive heart failure. Trump's brothers, Fred Trump died from a heart attack brought on by alcoholism. Oh, that's nice. It is not known what Robert Trump died from, although he was hospitalized with a stroke. Who is this character? And who is he to put this stuff out? You look at how Trump behaves. You look at his energy level. If you've ever known somebody with congestive heart failure, there's no way. Biden's got more pep with somebody with congestive heart failure, okay? So for him to even intimate this, I would love to see him have to face some legal consequences for what he's insinuating. And I don't mean to bring you down, folks, but here's what we're fighting. Here's what we're against. This is from the Daily Mail. Oh, my goodness, this thing doesn't want to move. Daily Mail. Taxpayers should fund $300,000 uterus transplants to help transgender women get pregnant. Transgender women. You know what that means, right? Right, Big Mike? So anyway, their arguments were made. I don't even want to read it. But the American Medical Association needs an enema, okay? They need to yank licenses for people who claim they practice medicine just the same. They need to be treated just the same way as Dr. Kevorkian was, just the same way as that doctor that got caught performing illegal abortion. And she right? Remember that? So that's what needs to happen across the board. We have got a dearth of overload, a glut, a backlog of attorneys and doctors. Okay, they've been handing out those degrees like bags of popcorn. These colleges, Harvard included, and many others I've mentioned in the past, based on a person's woke ideology, they cannot function normally. They cannot grasp the concepts, logic and law and natural law, and they cannot grasp the concepts of medicine, natural genetics, or anything rational. So they need to be cleaned out. And I'm sorry, it's not profiling. It is recognizing people that ascribe to transgenderism as anything other than a psychological illness, except in very rare cases where people have both chromosomes or they're born in a hermaphroditic state, something like that. People who push that, especially on young ones, need to have their licenses immediately revoked. And if they've done anything during the course of their, quote, practice, okay, they need to answer for it under existing criminal law. And that storm is coming. That's not going to be ignored. Did I put this picture up yet? The jerk, Jack the Jerk? No, I didn't. Well, here he is. What's he got to say? Whoa. Let me get that off screen. It's freezing up on me, folks. Wait a second. I got to notice. Cameraman, he kicked in coffee tonight to help sponsor the show. And Lone Wolf and Tennessee. Wow. 3 people. Let me see if I can get Jerk Smith out of the way. Let me see what I can do here. And then I'm going to do some booms. Let me get Jerk Smith out of the way. Pushing Trump's federal January 6th case to 2026. DOJ says. Well, let me tell you something. The right to a speedy trial belongs to the defendant, you moron. It is not the public that deserves or has to have a speedy trial where we grab a defendant and drag him in front and make him go through a trial he's not prepared for so the public can have a speedy trial, you idiots. It's for the defendant, okay, for him to have the ability to either demand a speedy trial or waive it to have time to be prepared. And everybody with a brain in their head has said 19 defendants, 6 months, you're out of your mind. It's never going to happen. Look how long it took Jussie Smollett to go to trial, and he's not sitting in jail even though he's been convicted because he's waiting for his appeal. So there's another boomerang that's going to come back. Jussie Smollett example. But I know that I didn't get this. Whoops. Let me see here. Here we go. This I clipped this off. But the article was about a commander of the USS Hood was relieved of his command yesterday, and he was promoted to that position less than a year ago in 2022. So the Navy is kicking some people out. I didn't get to read that article. The clock was ticking fast, and I had to be able to get on the air. So anyway, I appreciate everybody that I mentioned, Lone Wolf, Camperman, Tennessee, for helping sponsor the show tonight. Let me get my booms up there. Oh, I want a picture of somebody I can let me get that out of the way so I can. Who do I want to do my bombs on and my machine gun fire? Wait a second. Let me see. Here we go. Here's somebody. I'll see if I can. This is going to be a little tough if I can hit her or not. Anyway, but I mean, this is a matter of fact meme. Okay? It's a matter of fact. And if you post it on Facebook, you should be okay. But anyway, let's see if I can take a bomb celebrating people who help sponsor the show tonight. Let me find my bombs. Here we go. Boom. Oh, that's down there. Bam. No, that didn't get her. Wait a minute. I got to find my bombs. Ha ha. Here we go. Here's a bomb. Boom. Ha, right on top of her head. Hey, thanks for buying me a coffee. Let's do another boom. Oh, pow. I sound there. Right. Oh, pow. Here, we'll do a question mark. Now, I can't make this bird poop or I would I would have the bird poop on her. But then, pow, here you go. Boom, man, I got her right in the face. Boom. Where's my machine guns at? Oh, gosh, what's this one? Let me, here's one I haven't tried and I've never tried. I don't know if I get in trouble for this or not. Well, if it shows up there, it's the skull and crossbones. It doesn't want to show up on the screen, but I appreciate everybody's helping the channel out. I don't know where my machine gun fire is at. Here we go. Pow, 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 pow. So anyway, folks, pow, oh gosh, right? That was a good one. That was my last try. I got her, I blasted her. I blasted her. So, let me see. Anyway, I wanted to get that video of the guy with the burning the sign down and the neighbor, his response. But I'll tell you right here, I got one thing. I'm going to put this on my Truth Social where you can share it a little. I can put little video clips on Truth Social that you all can share. Here is a guy that's asking a question, and I would like to see this question be asked at the debates. Tell me what you think. It goes real quick.
Why should we exempt people from a punishment for murder, cold-blooded murder, because, you know, they're having some hardship in life?
That's a pretty straightforward question. I had a hard time playing that. Let me try it again.
Why should we exempt people from a punishment for murder, cold-blooded murder, because, you know, they're having some hardship in life?
That's a good question, and I'd like to see it get asked. But anyway, you all can't see it. At least I hope you can't see it, but my studio is really having a problem. But anyway, what I want to do is, now that I've thanked everybody, I've got some other stuff. Gee, I haven't had a chance to go over it. Let me check what's going on in the chats. Diane, I don't have anything like that. Anyway, what can I put up for everybody watch while we go out? A little video, doesn't have to be long. Let's see if I've forgot some of. Should I play that Obama one again? Oh, I got one right here for you. And listen, you can't play this too much because under the way they're charging Mr. T, everybody you see in this short video clip should also be getting charges. And since they're allowing little podunk DAs from states and towns and counties to chase after former presidents with drummed up charges, like Lindsey Graham said, be careful what you wish for. So everybody in this video, according to their practices, could be subject to criminal prosecution and be posting $200,000 bail, just like Mr. T. Thank you all for spending your precious time with me. Thank you all for supporting me on Buy Me a Coffee. I've got a link in the description, and I'll be seeing you very soon. I'll play this short video for you. This is Mountain Man over and out.
With Russian interference, though.
That's a real
what I'm
thing.
scared about in 2020.
But rightly.
Because I think he's an illegitimate president that didn't really win. So how do you fight against that in 2020?
You are absolutely right.
He's an illegitimate president in my mind.
Would you be my vice presidential candidate? Folks, look, I absolutely agree.
Trump didn't actually win the election in 2016. He lost the election and he was put into office because the Russians interfered.
Trump knows he's an illegitimate president.
The president-elect, although legally elected, is not legitimate.
I don't see this president-elect as a legitimate president.
You said you believe that Russia's interference altered the outcome of the election.
I do. We have a president who, if in fact it is proven, has been assisted by the Russians and may in fact not be a legitimate president.
The one thing that Trump is fearful of when it comes to his being president is that finally we will see how illegitimate his victory actually was.